Hello everyone, it's Robin, the Artsy Bohemian, coming to you from my studio in Los Angeles, California. I have another super cute ornament to show you. You could actually wear it as a necklace if you wanted to. It's not my idea. My friend Karen had made this for me maybe 3 years ago. It is so darn cute. And she had gotten the kit at Gilding the Lily, which is in Fullerton, California. It's a great store that sells vintage everything, like lots of vintage jewelry parts, Miriam Haskell pearls, vintage millinery, and then she puts together kits every once in a while, and this was one of them. So I thought I would replicate it, but I wanted to give them recognition using the Tim Holtz cloches that you can buy. These are readily available at most hobby stores by Tim Holtz. He calls them corked domes. I'm using the larger one. So you're going to need not too many things. Again, we'll be using Christmas trees. I might use a pink one. If you've never dyed these, they're fairly easy to dye. They do have to be the sisal trees, though, which is a natural fiber. The acrylic or non-natural ones don't work when you try to dye them. And you can take green ones and you can bleach them first, and then make a bath of warm water in your sink or in a big container, and then add some Rit dye, whatever color you want. And you just let them soak and they'll dye. So these are some that I had made a few years ago. I used to put little kits together. Here's a greenish, like a very pale aqua one. So if you wanted to dye your own pink, you could do that, or just get the pre-bought green or white ones that they have in craft stores. I'm also using a super tiny deer. You could also use, some of you probably have seen these over the years, these little tiny Santas. So any type of miniature, like really small animal, or you can, like I said, a Santa. This one right here, this cute little doe, is from Michael's, so you can get that at Michael's. And there's 4 in this, but it's the smallest one that I'm using. You also need some E6000 and some regular glue. I'm also using glass glitter. Glass glitter, when it's enclosed, won't fog up your glass. If you use regular glitter, the really fine glitter, it's more than likely, unless it's really glued down well, that it will stick to the glass and you can't undo it because you're going to be sealing this. Also, your jewelry pliers and a couple of bead caps. On this one, she used a bead cap that already has a bail on it. I have something similar to that. I don't have this one. And then she used a jump ring, but I'm going to show you 2 ways. One to use one that has a bail already on it, and then one to make on your own, where you can make your own bail and with a bead cap. Alright, so this one I kind of started playing with already. Isn't it just so adorable? This isn't one of these, but it does fit one of this little deer. This was a deer that somebody had given me a bunch of really tiny little plastic animals at one point, and this was one of them that was in there, and she's so cute. The one that Karen used is so dainty. Look at how tiny the legs are. This one's even smaller than the one I'm using. So when I say small, it's, so this deer is about a 1/2 inch wide and then about 1 inch tall. That's how tiny we're talking. The smaller the better. This Santa is super tall. I mean tiny. He's only about 3/4 of an inch tall by, at the very widest with his arms, about 1/2 inch wide. And that's including his arms. That's not his body. His body's smaller. The Christmas trees, even if you think they're small, like this one is pretty small, but it might be the only thing you could fit in this. So just kind of play around and see how they fit before you add them. So like, see, like this one, I can't even push it all the way down. I know for sure I could use these ones. These ones are super tiny. And you could even, if you want to fit a couple more things in there, you could remove this bottom and then poke a hole in this and stick the stem, the trunk of the tree in there. And you could probably add a couple more tiny things. I haven't tried that yet, so let me know if that's going to be something you're going to do. So I already did this one, and you're going to want to clean everything with rubbing alcohol. I'm probably going to have to clean it again because my hands have some lotion on them. But what I did on this is I glued the tree down with hot glue first, and I put it at the very end. And then I'm going to glue her down as well when I add the glitter. I'm going to be adding glass glitter, like I said. Once it's dry, I will cap it with the cloche and glue it down. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Just going to use a little E6000. Actually, I think I'm just going to use this glue. It's going to probably move around for a little bit until it starts sitting. And I'll talk about this in a minute. This is a glass bell. I'm just going to put a thin layer on the edge because I don't, any extra bulk, just even the tiniest, might inhibit the glass to fully close. Just using regular, this is the PVA glue that I've been using. Tacky glue will be good. Plus this dries fairly fast, so. So I'm going to add some glass glitter. You can Google glass glitter. It's usually, sometimes it's under vintage German glass glitter because most of the time it's from Germany. And it's absolutely stunning. If you've never used it before, it really is tiny shards of glass. It's absolutely sparkly though. It's a little bit more expensive than regular glue, but it's great for projects like this that are going to be closed up. Another thing that Karen did on hers. Hi Karen, I don't know if you're watching. Karen L. I have lots of friends that have the name of Karen, but it's Karen L. I don't want to say her last name, but she put little tiny beads on it. I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to keep it simple. But you can do that if you wanted to ahead of time. And then I'm going to very carefully just add, I don't really actually need to add glue, but I'm just going to do it just so she doesn't flip around because the little deer is so tight in there that it's very unlikely that she's going to move. But just to be on the safe side, I'm going to add some glue to her hooves. And you just have to set this to the side. I'm just going to set it on the side like this until it dries a little bit. So, these are something I bought from a thrift store years ago, and they came in a set of 4, and they were all connected, and they're little glass bells, and they had little things in them so they would make sounds. But aren't they cute for a little cloche? So I thought that would be fun to do as well. Before I do that though, I am going to glue the bail on this so it'll start to dry before we do anything else. So I was telling you, I'll show you 2 ways. If you have these, they're a little bit harder to find than regular bead caps. You can see it has a little tiny bail on it. I hope you can see that. And what I'm going to try to do, I'm not sure if I can do it on this one, is, I don't think I can do it on this one. I thought I maybe be able to split it. Oh, yeah, maybe I can. And then splay it out so it's not sitting up so high, and it'll be more flush to the glass. Just gently bending these out. I'm going to squish it down to make sure it's flat and see if it works on there. So that might work. So the other option is taking a head pin like this and inserting it into a bead cap, and I'm going to do 2 bead caps. Now this one might work because it's already splayed out, and it'll lay flush to the cloche like that. So I could do that on this one, or I could get 2 flatter style ones like this one here. This one's really small. And what other one was I thinking of here? So if you have a flat-ish, this one has it's slightly convex, that will fit on the top of the cloche, but bigger than this, that will work too. I didn't have any that were big enough, so I'm going to improvise on both. So I made this one that has the bail on it, and I kind of squished it out. So I'm going to glue that down. And then I have another one that doesn't have a bail on it that I pulled apart a little bit, and that will probably work. And then there's this one. This one is a little bit bigger, and I think I'm going to go with this one just to make sure that it fits properly. And you're going to want to clean everything off with a little bit of rubbing alcohol. Oops. I'm going to do that. And that just ensures that any residue or dirt or anything that's on the glass and on the bead cap will be taken off to make sure that you have a nice connection with the glue. And in the meantime, I glittered up this cute little tiny pink Christmas tree with some glass glitter, so that's almost dry. I'm going to be using that for the other little cloche. So I'm going to put the head pin in here first. And I think I might, maybe I'll add a little star or one of these little, maybe I'll do this one here. I'm just adding another little bead on here just for some decoration. For this one here. You could add whatever you want. Would go on top like this. And I'm going to bend these a little bit more to make sure that it has a nice connection. So I'm adding these other beads on here, and then I'm going to make a head. I'm an eye pin on the top. I'm just going to use my round nose pliers and make a 90-degree angle. Move my pliers over, and then make the loop. And this will give me a place to hang a ribbon or a hook. This is really hard wire that I'm using on this. I'm going to straighten that out a little. And then I'm going to glue it and let it sit. Make sure it's not crooked. I have to be kind of careful because this might crack the bead underneath. It's a crystal. Okay, I'm going to add some E6000 to that. I'm going to kind of glue that in a little bit because it keeps moving around. Look at it and make sure that's what it looks like. I don't want to bend it right now. I'll show you when it's completely dry because it'll move. Just make sure it's centered. Super cute. Kind of Victorian looking. And then I'll do the other one, which is a little more simple because we don't have to add a head pin. If you've never used E6000 before, you have to put the lid on right away, otherwise it just starts oozing out and makes a big mess. That one looks like that. And periodically look at them because it will move until it starts setting. So you have to readjust it a little tiny bit, but not so much, because if you keep doing that, it won't really work. The glue doesn't work, but you have a couple minutes before it starts setting. Oh, they're so cute. And then the other thing I have is this little bell. I have these really old figurines. I think they're from the 70s. I got them, again, at a flea market. I got them in this box of stuff. And I looked online to see if they're still around, and it looks like you can buy them. But there's tons of little tiny dolls in here. All different nationalities. There's a Santa. Let me know if you guys are interested, and I might put together a little kit with that'll, you know, all pink with some of these little figurines in them. This one's kind of like a 18th century or 17th century lady, almost look like a Marie Antoinette one. So I'm going to add her to this cloche, and then I'm going to have to get a stopper bead for the top because this has a hole in it in order for me to, you know, have it dangle. And I've also made the bottoms here to use for her to sit on like this. And those are just cutouts from a punch. I'm not sure if this tree will work with this. I'm going to check. Let's see, I'll probably do it on this side here. That's pretty tight. Maybe we could put a flower. I also found these little tiny ornaments that a friend had given me. CT, if you're watching, thank you. I don't know if that might work or not. So they're really tiny, kind of pink, you know, pink color theme. Really cute. Or I could just leave it. This is a harp. Yeah, so one of those might fit in there. I'm not exactly sure, but this is another option for you guys. So I'm just going to keep going with the cute little... This is probably dry enough to close up. So how cute is that? Might kind of want to add some glitter to the tree or something. We'll see on that one. I'm going to wait just a sec. So while everything is drying, I was kind of playing around with the little tiny trees I was showing you that have no post on them. Well, they have a post, but they don't have a little trunk thingy, you know, like this little wooden piece. So what I did was I cut off, because they're really long, I cut some of the wire part off, and I screwed it into the cork. And I put this super tiny Santa on there, and they actually fit in the smaller cloche. So that's really quick and easy. I'm gonna glue Santa down. With hot glue. Look at how easy that is. Might add some glitter on the bottom, but how cute is that? And then I'm going to add a bail, like I showed you, with a bead cap. And this is gonna be a necklace, I think. I'll be selling all of these things in my Etsy store. So I just thought I would show you that really quick before we assemble the rest. Alright, in between all of these things drying, I've been playing around with the bell. And so what I came up with, I'll show you. So what I did was I took a head pin and I added a small bead cap. This is no bigger than 5 millimeters. And that'll act as a stopper for the bell, like this. But it moves around too much. And this bell, by the way, is handmade, I think, because it's not very even, which is fine. But then I'm going to add another bead cap, and that'll kind of make this will fit kind of right inside. You could use a bead instead of a bead cap. And then I'm adding a crystal and then another bead cap. And it makes it just kind of stay in place like that. And I also made sure that it's not going to inhibit the fit when I add this little doll. So I'm going to make an eye on this, and then I don't like this extra space here, so I'm going to add a bow of some kind, or maybe a little, I have these cute little roses. So I'm going to go ahead and make the eye. Then we're going to wrap up, and I'm going to show you the finished little bell jars, or cloches, or whatever you want to call them. So I've been playing around, and I added the little snowman because this is going to be the small cloche or bell jar. And I'm waiting for all the glue to dry because I added pink glitter. It's that chunky kind of glitter. And then this came out really cute, the little tiny snow Santa. I added the chunky glitter to the tree and to the ground. Waiting for that to dry. And this one's super cute. So instead of adding beads for ornaments, I added more some of the chunky clear glitter, and look at how cute with the little tiny rose on there. I just love it. It's super sweet. And this one, everything's just kind of sitting there waiting for it to dry. And this is one of the deers that you can buy at a hobby store. And this is the dyed tree. You could use one of the white ones or the green ones. Probably going to add something to the top of this one because it's a really small, it's a really short tree. So I just have to play with it, see if I can do that. And I'll show you the results. So I'm going to glue a piece on the, I'm going to do this on the top and the bottom. This is for the cloche. Just to reinforce it, because this piece was it was kind of a flimsy cardstock, so this will just give it some extra reinforcement. And I couldn't just use these on their own because they were too small. That's why I'm using 2 or 3 altogether, actually. Also, I added a little bit of a rub and buff to her to bring out the highlights of her features. They're very, very, very dainty, so you can't really see that much, but it was kind of hard to see any of the details. So I'm just going to double check to make sure where she's going to be positioned. That looks about right. Actually, I can hot glue her on here. Actually, I don't like it that close. Get a little bit farther away. She's kind of bending into the jar, unless I had it the wrong way. Back just a little farther. Yeah, that's better. Go on like this. Gonna make sure that this fits somewhat. I'll probably add more glitter on the edges. I'm gonna wait for it to dry. Okay, so everything's dry. I'm going to just glue everything down and just show you what I'm going to do, and then wait for them to dry, and I'll show you what they look like at the very end. So we're going to take this one. And I'm going to do E6000 on this. Let that sit. And the others, I'm going to just use the PVA glue. I think that'll be fine because they're fairly tight on there already with the cork. That. I'm actually going to let that sit, and I'm going to see how it dries. I'm hoping that it dries clear. It says it dries clear, but I just want to make sure, double check. I think maybe I'll just try doing the E6000 on this one. It's just kind of experiment. Just doing it around the edge of the bottom. Right here, not down here. Because once I push the cloche on, it just pushes the glue down. And I have to add the little hanger on there still. So I'll let you know how it goes. Okay, so I waited for a long time, and it might be that the glue's not drying very quickly because it's kind of cold. It's cold for, you know, Southern California. So I didn't want to put the glass domes on top of these just yet because you can still see the white. You can still see that the glue is white. So I'm going to wait till tomorrow to dry them quickly, and what I'll do is I'll also show you the finished project the day after, because I'm always filming the day before, so I'm getting a little confused, but I will show you, and they'll be listed in my Etsy store. All of these things will be for sale. I really love the way they came out. These are still drying. I just glued them on here, but look at how cute that one is. So that one's going to be the one that goes on the Santa. So if you're making these, just think about the colors that are in your little diorama here, and use those the same color beads if you can, or stick with neutral colors like crystals or brass colors or, you know, metal colors. This one is really cute too. I put a bow charm on there so I can hang it, and I really like the way that came out. So this will be a necklace. And then you saw this. This is the first one we did. This will be for the little deer. And I will be putting probably a little star or something on top of that. And then I'll glue them all down. I did glue this one. It's still drying. I'm really hoping that that does not show. I mean, it does say that the glue dries clear, so I'm taking their word for it. But I'm just going to wait on the other ones. So thanks for watching. Oh, this one first too. Still some work to do on this. I'm going to do some edging around here. But I hope you guys enjoyed that. They're a fun project. They are a little bit fiddly because everything's so tiny, but they're just so darn cute. So I put a little a goose in this one. And I'll probably add some rhinestone up here, or maybe a little tiny bow. And I'm going to do some edging around here because this bell, this glass bell is a little wonky shaped. So that'll be an ornament. All right, I'll see you tomorrow.